Hey guys, F1West26 here, and welcome to highlights of Season 4 of the F1 League for the pre-season race here in Baku, Azerbaijan. As you can see the practice results there, Jamie was fastest on the Super Softs with Mike in second and myself in third. So, quite a competitive practice session for us, and if we don't crash we should be looking forward to a good result. But obviously we are running simulation damage, so it's quite difficult to not crash as it's a new game and the simulation damage is very hard. But a lot of stuff has changed since last season. My teammate Dizzy Cupid has retired from league racing, which is a shame because we were going to try and retain our constructors title. But I've moved to Haas, the new team obviously, and our game has actually now kicked us out. It's crashed, but luckily that was a glitch which happened to everyone. So we're just going to have to restart the lobby. And I have a new teammate, is Dan the Man 999 in the Haas. So then, having a look at our weekend tyre allocation, we decided to go for 3 sets of super softs in quali because we're not going to need the softs as it's only short qualifying for this week at least. And we're going to have a look if we can get in a decent position in qualifying, which should hopefully set us up for a good race, assuming, as I said, that we don't crash. There's also the small possibility that we might see a safety car, although I haven't seen it too many times so far in the game. But we're on our first quali lap now as we approach the castle section. We've gone in too deep, and we slammed the wall there. We're lucky not to get a puncture, to be honest, and as you can see the Williams behind us also slams the wall. I reset to track to avoid just being in the middle of the road for everyone as the Ferrari goes through me there. And this is all very messy, isn't it, as we managed to squeeze past the Williams there. But now heading into the pits at the end of our quali lap, we've got Lexbox 1 in front of us. And the pit lane is actually very tricky around here. I wouldn't be surprised if someone crashes in it at some point in the weekend. We almost slam into the back of Lexbox there, and then as we enter the pit we do hit him as a bit of our wing comes off as we now don't speed into the pit lane, but we've got a 5-place grid penalty for that, so that's really fantastic, isn't it, Codemasters? So then, on our second qualifying attempt, we're now coming to the castle section again, and we've this time just managed to avoid the wall, but then we've lost the back end, and we have hit the wall. But we've pretty much bottled the lap anyway, and as you can see, I'm pretty angry, as you can see, lighting up the rear tyres there and weaving the wheel. So then, we're now on an out lap for our third quali lap attempt, and we've once again crashed at the castle. So this is getting really annoying now, because I seem to be incapable of driving this track, which was rather annoying because I only crashed once in practice, which was when someone had destroyed their vehicle and I got distracted. So finally we're now using a set of tyres that we just used for that out lap as we've gone back into the pits and come back out on track. But finally we do manage to get a lap together, so coming to the last section of the lap all flat out as White Marshmallow puts in an absolute banger there of a 41.2. I don't think I'm getting anywhere near that, even if I get the best lap I've ever done around this track. My PB was a 41.3, but I probably won't get anywhere near that as I just want to take it cautiously and complete this lap. So we get turn 1 alright, maybe we could have taken a bit more curb, but turn 2 here, breaking down into second gear. We nail the apex there and get on the power early. Also, apologies for the racing line. I'm bad enough at the game without having to turn it off, and my race would probably last less than a lap if I had it turned off. So I can't handle this game with the racing line off yet. As we go past Mike there, we actually nailed turn 3 as well through turn 4 now. Getting a reasonable line through there and picking up the throttle early as we head down to the chicane now. Taking that in third gear, taking quite a lot of curb on the inside and nailing the exit curb as well. You don't want to be taking the curb on the left hand side of the exit because that will hinder your exit. Coming into this very tight corner now, second gear, getting on the power nice and early. Can we not crash at the castle section this time? We're running very deep, but we just managed to avoid it, as we can see Vapid Coot in the Williams who's actually crashed there. We took an alright line through there, probably lost a few tenths, as you can see now heading down here. Casey Legend was parked on the apex and that hindered us once again, and we probably lost a bit of time there. Coming into turn 15 now, try not to cut this corner. We might have done a tiny corner cut there, I couldn't quite see, but it was very marginal if we did. Coming into the final proper corner now, third gear, we took maybe a bit too much curb there as we head down towards the pit straight. All of this is flat out if you get it right, which we do nicely, running out wide towards the wall, and we're going to head towards the DRS line now. Obviously we've got no delta because this was our first lap that we actually managed to complete in the session, and we're currently sitting in last place. But as we come across the line we move into P6, which is where we finished the second session with a pretty bad lap, to be honest. It was a 42.2. I should really have been in third with my pace that I was showing in practice. But yeah, we've got a 5-place grid penalty for that ridiculous collision with Lexbox in the pit lane. So we'll actually be starting 11th here for the pre-season race. So then, here we are on the grid for the formation lap, and Vapid Coot has already disappeared alongside us. So let's just do this formation lap. I won't show all of it because it's quite boring. I'm sure you've seen it about 6,000 times already, but we shall just try and get around this lap nicely. We've got Gorsh Crab ahead of us because Vapid has disappeared or something. So if we can just get around this lap nicely without being kicked out for crashing into another car, as Gorsh has managed to bottle the formation lap already. So that's a really good start to his season, as we are now up into 10th. So we'll have to let him through at some point, but yeah. The formation lap is enabled for this league, even though I don't really think it makes a difference to tyre temperatures, because once again, when you're on the grid, it will probably all be around the same, and I don't think tyre temperatures make too much of a difference on this game unless they're like ridiculously cold, or when it's wet tyres on dry track, or vice versa. But yeah, so we're coming into the chicane now. We've currently got our teammate in front of us, but obviously we need to let Gorsh through because he's ahead of us on the grid, so we'll just pull over now and let him through. But yeah, now we'll cut to us pulling up onto the grid now as we come through the final corner, and the game will take control probably about now. Nope, not yet. But yeah, just weaving the tyres to get them up to temperature, and now the game takes control, and a few people got kicked out of the formation lap, as you'll see. I think we'll drive past Hamilton fan who got kicked out. No surprises there. And I'm just slowing down nicely before we hit our grid spot, which is 11th place on the grid, but I'm not sure if Vapid's car is actually AI controlled or he's actually driving it, because I had the glitch where it didn't show me who's retired, but that fixes itself later in the race. So we're going up to the lights now, and people have already jumped the start. I think Dan the Man, Gorsh Crab and Casey Legend have all jumped the start there, so that's fantastic news. We managed to get it going quite nicely, so we're going to try and hook it around the outside of Vapid into turn 1, which we managed to do nicely. So we've gained 1 position off the start already, and with 3 people ahead of us with drive-throughs, we are effectively in 7th as we're going very slowly to avoid hitting the back of the Guest and the Zinker and the Manor. We've got a good exit. He's squeezing us towards the wall. We passed Lexbox 1 in the Ferrari and someone else who I didn't quite catch. Oh, it's RB7 in the Sauber. I now got Jamie in front of us in the Red Bull, and Zinker's going for a dive bomb. He's going to wipe out Jamie there, and I'll take that. That's 2 free positions for me. Jamie was actually very lucky not to destroy his car. As you can see, all 15 runners still in the race for the time being, as we're going to go around the outside of Zinker now, and that should be moved done. He's still alongside, but we should be able to hang him out to dry into the chicane, which we do nicely. So we gain 5 places in less than a sector here at the start of the pre-season race. I'm just going to call it the European Grand Prix, even though it technically isn't. But yeah, in the the European Grand Prix, we've managed to get a good start, and 3 of the people in front of us have drive-through, so we're effectively on the podium. So Mike Marshmallow, who's got a poor start from pole, is down actually in 5th at the moment, so hopefully we can catch him up, but he showed very good pace throughout the weekend, weekend in inverted commas, so I suspect we won't be able to catch him, but we'll give it our best shot as we come through turn 15 now, and we're heading towards the final sector. Gorsh Crab is slowing down, so he's clearly decided to let everyone through for some reason, as someone is already out of the race, so that's not a good start. You can probably see on the track map there's a yellow flag and a dot in the wall somewhere, but I don't think they'll deploy the safety car on that one, and someone else is out now. It's down to 13 cars, so we're up to 5th for the moment, and we've got Mike Marshmallow, the Silent Mole, Dan the Man and Casey Legend in front of us. So then on lap 2 now, we're coming through the castle section. We don't actually crash here for once as we head to the left-hander, and there's a car in the wall. It's Silent Mole, and he has lost a wheel. He is out of the Grand Prix, and he had got wing damage at some point in the first lap and then just understeered into the wall, so that's very unfortunate for him. That's a free position for us, so he's now gained 7 positions on the first 2 laps. Bit of a corner cut there, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. It didn't gain us too much time as we set a purple middle sector, but obviously it's lap 2, so everyone goes purple. So we're now down to 12, and you can see all the people who have retired, because when Silent Mole, who was the host, quit the session, it finally sorted itself out, and then you can see that loads of people are out of the race already. We've lost 3 drivers on lap 1, which is actually 4, because Vapid Coot disconnected, and now someone else is disconnected, has retired, sorry. So we're now down to 10 drivers, even though it says 11 there, because the game is still slightly broken in that aspect. But we're currently in P4, not too far behind Mike Marshmallow, and I think my teammate Dan the Man is either in 1st or 2nd, so it's a good showing for Haas, although Dan the Man and Casey both have drive-through penalties, so we are in effect in 2nd at the moment, if you want to look at it that way, which I obviously do because it benefits me. as we head down towards turn 15, clipping the wall on the outside there. That was very dangerous. We were lucky not to get a puncture on the rear. Someone else has retired from the session. They've clearly crashed at some point on the track. But yeah, so I suspect Casey Legend will serve as drive through this lap, as will Dan the Man, because obviously they have to. If not, they get disqualified, which obviously wouldn't be good. So we're now heading down the pit straight, which is ridiculously long. So far I found this track all right. My pace wasn't amazing here, but obviously it's a new track. It's Casey Legends in the pit, but I actually had the glitch, which is the same glitch that happened in YouTuber Championship, that the game actually didn't make people serve their drive-thrus if they jumped the start. So Dan the Man has stayed out. He's clearly realised this, so he's jumped the start and managed to get away with it. So he's effectively, legitimately leading this race, as Physicella 09 sets the fastest lap, and he's glitched into first place. But I think that sorts itself out later in the lap as we drift through that corner. That was very lucky not to hit the wall there as we head down through the right-hander there. So we're currently in P3 with our teammate Dan the Man leading the race as we come to start lap 5 now, breaking down nicely into turn 1. As we can see, Mike's got sideways and we've got a bit excited there, and we've lost the back end at the prospect of a potential Haas 1-2. But yeah, I don't think we'll be passing Mike anytime soon. He seems to be a lot quicker than I am as we head down towards turn 15 at the end of lap 5. Once again, another little corner cut, but I mean, the game's not penalising me for it. But I don't want to make a habit of it, because at some other tracks, strict rules is much better. But overall on this game, I think is a step back from what it was on the last game, where it's pretty much perfect except at Austria. But Dan the Man managed to crash there, and he's damaged his wing. So we're now up into second behind Mike as we head on to lap 7. And this is my scheduled pit stop lap as we head through the final sector. But the tyres were holding up all right, so I decided that I'd stay out for another lap. But as you can see, Jamie has crashed out there, and I should have gone in the pits, because as you can see now, there's a safety car. And if I'd gone in the pits, maybe I could have managed to get the lead off Mike there. But I stayed out here, and that was probably a big mistake from myself. So at the end of lap 8, we will come into the pit lane, and we'll be very careful not to speed in the pit lane. We're going to go for the soft tyres and then go for super softs at the end of the race. The game was suggesting that I go for mediums, but I didn't fancy that. So slowing down for the line very nicely there as we head into the pit lane. Mike is ahead of us, and unless he's damaged his wing, I suspect we will come out behind him, unless the Sauber team managed to produce the Haas team managed to produce a beastly stop, which they don't. It's a pretty standard stop as we head out of the pit lane now, and we need to get on the power. But unfortunately, Casey Legends has managed to get between myself and Mike, which was not good, because he's on a different strategy. However, sometimes that stuff happens. I'm not too bothered about it. I'll just have to get past him at the restart. But as you can see here on lap 10, I can read, Casey goes a bit slowly, and we hit the back of him, and we've damaged our wing. So it's only orange damage, which I think I can cope with, but we'll have to see as we now head towards the end of the lap. The safety car is in this lap as we're going to pull alongside Casey Legend there. We've got our teammate behind us, so Haas, I think the only team to have both drivers left in the race at this point. We've only got 7 drivers remaining, because even though it says 8, Vapid has disconnected. And yep, that was fantastic. We damaged our wing again, as now my teammates hit me, so apologies to Dan there, but the safety car restart really has been quite a big mess so far. We're going to pull alongside James now, but Mike has not decided to bolt yet, which I don't think is a particularly sensible decision, to be honest. And now there's been a huge amount of lag, and I'm now in 4th, because Physicella has lagged into first place, but who cares about that? Casey Legend's braking there. We're going to go inside him there. There's a ridiculous amount of lag with Fizzy's car. He disconnected and rejoined about 3 or 4 times in this race, and I've gone past him now. I've got an illegal overtake, but I don't care. I'm not going to give that place back at the moment, at least, because it'll be very dangerous. He lags in front of me again, and then behind me as Dan the Man's coming into the pits, and I decide to give this place back, because I can't be dealing with a drive-through penalty if it gives me that. I'm going to lose less time by giving the position back, so I let him back through, and we dropped 4th for the moment, but we're on different strategies to everyone ahead. Mike has gone onto the mediums, so I suspect he won't be pitting again, whereas Casey and Fizzy both have to pit again for new tyres quite soon, because they changed over early in the race. Whereas I'm going to try and go to lap 17 or 18, but we've gone deep into turn 3 and we paused the game for some reason. I think we got distracted, but the Paul's game is actually an absolute boss and manages to get us out of the escape road there, because I was going to go straight up that escape road, but I must have got distracted by something. I can't quite remember what it was. But yeah, we've lost quite a bit of time to Fizzy there, but it's better than losing our front wing, as we've now got the red front wing on the right hand side. As you can see, we're now heading down towards turn 15 again. We take it quite nicely this time, and my teammate has now decided to call it a day on the race. So we now only have 5 drivers remaining, which is obviously Mike, Casey, Fisichella, myself and Hamilton fan. Surprisingly is still in this race. Sam crashed out in the pit entrance under the safety car, so I did say that it's a difficult pit entrance, but as you can see, we're heading down to the line now, and if you look at the mini-map, Casey and Fizzy are both in the pit lane, so that is going to allow us to retake second. I suspect they'll be going on to the medium tyres, maybe if they want to push it the softs, but I don't think they'll risk it. As you can now see, on lap 12, apparently we set a purple middle sector, which I don't believe, purely because we've got front wing damage. And the fact that Mike is pulling away with it from us quite rapidly. We did lose a lot of time on the safety car restart, as we got very close to that wall there with the damaged front wing. I didn't quite estimate correctly how much turn-in we were going to get, sorry. But now on lap 18, I could have pitted on lap 17, but I decided that I'd pit this lap instead, as we now worked out a way to get through that corner, put it in 6th. But yeah, there's now only 5 people left in the race, no 4 sorry, so Hamilton fan clearly crashed at some point as well. As we head into the pit lane now, hopefully we can not speed in. I was very close to speeding, to be honest. I'm not sure if I actually managed to get that stop, to be honest, but the game said it was alright, so that's fine. We're going to strap on a set of super softs for the last 8 laps here, and hopefully we can bang in some lap times. There's no chance that we'll be catching Mike unless he blows up or something, which I'm sure he won't, because he'll be about 40 seconds ahead of us, especially with the front wing change, which is taking forever, by the way, because the Haas pit crew seem to be a bit crap. But anyway, Casey Legend was on mediums, and we were actually quicker than him, even though we had damaged front wing, but he was on the mediums, so I guess it balances out. But yeah, so that means we're in second for a very boring drive to the flag, but as we come to the end of lap 19, we'll see what the gap is. Hopefully we can bang in the fastest lap. As you can see, it's 44.0 seconds, very blessed gap there, as we lap an AI car in the pit lane. I think Fisichella has now finally given up because of how many times he's disconnected. So that means there's only 3 people left in the race as we come to end lap 20, and we bang in a 43.0. I was hoping to get into the 42s, which I hadn't quite managed in practice, so I was pushing for that last lap, and now on lap 21, can we get into the 42s? No, we can't. We beat our previous lap by 8 thousandths to put us into a 43.069, so we're going to push for another lap as we do have the fuel. As you can see, we're now heading up towards the castle section, but we're actually 2 tenths down in sector 1. But we take a bit too much curve through there, and we spin it, and we hit the wall, and once again I'm just going to reset the track because I can't be bothered to reverse out of that. But yeah, we once again damaged our wing. It's a red wing once again, so that is not ideal, but I didn't have any sets of super softs left, so I decided, instead of coming in and putting on a set of mediums pointlessly, I had like a 50-second gap over James Casey, who actually put on a set of super softs as well. But yeah, I decided not to come in, so as you can see, nothing happened, because obviously there was only 3 non-AI controlled cars on track. As you can see, Vapid's car here, which is under AI controls. We're going to stick through him, he's lagging a lot. And we're going to pull out of the slipstream, and we're going to drive past him on the run to the line. We should have probably got DRS there, but the game was like, nah mate, you're not having that. But we come across the line to take second in the pre-season race, but we've learnt a lot from that race, shows everyone else. Congrats to Mike for absolutely dominating. I think if I hadn't damaged my wing under the safety car, it could have been a very different result, but whatever, it's the pre-season race, it doesn't mean too much. Unfortunately, when people leave, the game decides that their names are now AI names, so you'll have to try and work out who everyone is. But yeah, it was an alright race. I think I only damaged my wing twice, which is a positive, and I've learnt quite a lot of stuff to take into Melbourne, especially to be much more careful under the safety car, because it's very easy to damage your wing. But yeah, Melbourne should be up at some point next weekend. Hopefully we'll have more finishes, as it's slightly less punishing in terms of mistakes, as there are quite a few run-off errors. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week for the Australian Grand Prix, round 1 of season 4. Goodbye.